Hey everyone, this is Eric Gardiner, blackrealtyeric.com, and today I wanted to film a quick market update about the Wasatch Front. It's January 5th, 2023, and a lot's been changing as we've talked about before. Rates are up. I did talk to a lender today. He said a rate was about 6.25 for a certain client that's getting underwriting right now. So floating in, 6.25%. That's kind of where it's been the last month. It's crept up a little bit, he said. So just an example of what interest rates are as of today. So we're not, those personal loan rates aren't past 7 as some people have been talking about. But regarding the Utah market update or the Wasatch Front market update, remember this is the Wasatch Front, so Utah County, Salt Lake County, Tooele, Weber, and Davis. Units are actually down across Utah and the Wasatch Front. I track units a lot. A couple weeks ago, it was floating around, or a month ago, around 10,000. As of yesterday, or today actually, total units for sale in Utah or listed active, 7,833 units. So down about 2,500 units from the high we had a month and a half ago. What's causing that? So I wanted to look at that. Obviously, when the new year starts, a lot of sellers and a lot of agents actually have listings end on December 31st. I'm not sure why, but for some reason a ton of people do. So when I dove into those numbers about what's going on with the total market, I looked up the last 7 days, how many actually came off the market from being either canceled, the listing expired, or a seller withdrew their listing. And it came out to, where's that information? Here it is. It came out to over 1,047 listings either canceled, expired, or withdrew in the last 7 days. So I imagine some of those are coming back online eventually, probably half of them, because a lot of sellers still need to move. Just something happened. But we've talked about this before, how some sellers, they'll withdraw their listing or cancel it because they just get fatigued. They get tired of trying to sell their home, so they either decide to stay or just wait until spring when maybe it's a better time. But the ones that expired, I imagine a lot of those will come back on either with the same agent or with a different agent. And then also in the last 7 days, 400 units went under contract or were in backup status. So that's transactions that are actually occurring that are starting to move through the due diligence and the finance and appraisal deadline. So while inventory is down, the people that obviously have their homes listed right now are motivated to sell. The people who are listed right now, it's kind of creating less competition. When we went from over 10,000 listings down to 7,800, in certain price bands, there's probably less competition for active listings. So also like a different thing to think about when having a home on the market during these months or during this time. But going back to the Wasatch Front data, usually I do month over month, it's a year over year comparison of the same month. So this month we're doing December because that's the month that just ended. So December 2022 compared to December 2021. And we know in 2021 and the beginning of 2022, it was super, super hot and fast in this market. So let's dive into this. So total sales in December 2021, when it was super crazy still from the COVID pandemic era, interest rates were still super, super low. Along the Wasatch Front, there was 3,443 units sold. Last month, 1,919 units. So that's a 44% decrease in units sold. List price also increased still. People were listing their houses for more, hoping the market was still what it was last year, or hoping that appreciation was still continuing or staying flat. But so list price was still up. So median list price was at $515 in 2022, December. And the year prior, that December prior, was $475. So an 8% increase in list price or hoping to sell price. The actual sold price was actually flat. That's what's crazy. So in December 2021, that list price was $475 and the sold price was $478 because things were getting bid up a little bit. December 2022, we had that way high list price, people hoping for top dollar or hoping for, the market to just continue rising. Sold price down $478,000. So it actually median sold price in December 2021 and median sold price December 2022 were actually the same. Obviously with fewer units, but people aren't bidding things up anymore like they did in December 2021. They're actually coming off on that price. So some people are dropping the price, or they're just coming in low and maybe asking for some concessions as a buyer. Days on market is what we also track. So a year ago, it was 9 days median on market. Last month, 44 days median on market. So huge increase there. But we're seeing days on market increase. I think the last video I did, it was about 45 or 48. So, it's been floating around that 45-day mark pretty consistently the last couple months. So total units for sale along the Wasatch Front, where this data is from, 5,385 units. We talk about sellers markets and buyers markets a lot. Technically, we are still in a seller's market. There's only 2.8 months of supply. It doesn't become like a true buyer's market till 5 or 6 months of supply or more even. But with where rates are at, there's still that fear in the market. So sellers aren't getting as much, power or control when listing their home because buyers are being more picky because they can. So just a lot of data happening right now with, where things are going. The Fed actually released their minutes the other day saying that, it looks like they're going to continue, they're not going to stop fighting inflation. A lot of people have said that they should just stop and see where things shake out with the current rate rises they've made. So there's a lot of uncertainty there. I'm guessing they'll do 1 or 2 more rate rises, probably pretty small. Definitely not going to be 75 bips. Last month they didn't do that. They did 50 only. So I'm hoping the next one is maybe like 25, 1/4%. Would let the market know they're serious about fighting inflation, but not overdo it, not kill the economy. Do it. We're seeing lots of the Fed actually tracks jobs reports, and the strength of the jobs reports helps them decide whether we're actually curtailing prices. And we've been getting announcements from a lot of companies laying off staff. Amazon's a good example. Facebook, all these tech companies are definitely laying off. But Amazon, to me, is like they do so much, not that they're Walmart, but they're pretty close. They provide goods and services to all of these people. And Amazon's also a tech company, but it's also goods, like a retail store in a way. So them laying off, I think it was like 15,000 people. That's a sign that maybe demand is slowing on goods and services, which would then show, prices are going to decline and inflation is going to decrease. So that's kind of my outlook. Obviously, the market in Utah, we still have a lot of great things going for us. The headwind is interest rates currently, just scaring a lot of buyers off, letting, I guess that expectation of what money should cost, that's changing. In the last week or 5 days since the first of the year, I've had a lot of interest in some of my listings, and just with more requests, I've seen more requests. So I think things are picking up now. There's definitely a lull in the last week or 2 of December just because of the holidays. But that's the short of it for this market update along the Wasatch Front. If you have any questions, go to heyeric.com. I can give you more information, and my number is 801-660-9173. Thanks.